after I made my Michelangelo custom He-Man, Turtles Meet He-Man, right here, I decided to go now do the second one, Donatello. I got a bootleg Donatello I did a video on for $2.66 with shipping. I don't know how that happened, but it did. There's some flaws in this, but it'll work. Just using a head sculpt. The body, the shell, well, just the shell, the hands, the feet, the pads, and that's it. He's going to be Frankensteined up. We'll check him out. And Pighead from Masterverse. That's going to be the main body. The shell for the body is Playmates, and then the head sculpt. But we'll check all these out, mix and match, see what happens. Check the spot. Okay, now that we have them out of the box, really don't need to know about the accessories, I guess, for this particular project. I'm not going to use these. Not sure about the hands yet. I may use the hands, but this is not really much of a review, sort of a breakdown of how I'm going to go about doing this. This one here, I'll probably do all the scripture lines there in purple and in some silvers and gunmetal. But right now, let's get to the point. This is the Playmates turtle. Going to use the hands, the feet, and all the pads for in the shell, like I did the last one, the Michelangelo. Let's get this thing off. Here we go. I forget about that thing. So where we're at now, definitely one of the best turtle shells in my opinion. Really like this turtle shell. This one here, really good. It fits the 7-inch really well. But just gonna Frankenstein this piece up. Pads, wrist bands, shell, and knee pads and feet. That'd be. We're gonna Dr. Frankenstein him up. Now, when it comes to Pighead, I was hoping they'd have the traditional He-Man boots, but that's okay. They don't have to be exact, but I still want the bodies somewhat the same. This, I'm confused because I did not know this was so. I don't know. I'm going to think about the shoulder pads here because they're not very. They don't stay in one spot, and the bands aren't tight enough. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that one because I don't like the way. If they sat up here right, it'd be okay. See, they're sloppy. This was laziness. This is just laziness. But if you take the head off, there we go. Take this head off of the bootleg NECA toy or turtle, and I probably have to heat that up. Let me heat this up. So here, try to get this out. There we go. All right, just for sake of the video not being too long, I think that'll work. I'm gonna have to do some. I don't know if I'll be able to get that in there or not. There we go. No, actually, it's not too bad. A little loose, but I can work with that. So that's not bad. I mean, it's very loose, like I said, but it's not a huge deal right now. I'll worry about that when I get to it. But these here, I'm not sure if I'm using those. I just don't. I don't know. Look at that. That's. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm gonna have him at a kind of a weird pose. Not a weird pose, but a dynamic side view pose. Sort of like I'm thinking something like this with the bow staff, I believe, or something. See, I don't know about. I'm taking these off. I'm not sure about these. Taking these off. Well, let me get this off here. Take these two. Okay, they're off. They're off. Let's see if this is off. Oh, yeah, that'd be no problem to get off. Okay. Now Not sure exactly. I know it's going to be a piece. It's going to, the foam is going to be there we go. The foam is going to be actual. It's going to match the Michelangelo one. So I think I'm going to do the bow staff like this or something. Get it over here. Have it sitting like this. For instance, I'll make my own bow staff, but for right now we're going to use this one that came with the Playmates one. I'm going to do something like this. Straight out, like this. Like this. Have him like that. That's kind of how I want him. Like that. That's what we're going with. But what would it look like without this? Yeah, I'm going to have to... This is staying on there. I like this on there. I either go a leather, depending on what I do with his body, a leather look, and then or purple. But anyway, that's it right there. That's what we're going with. I'll put him on the spinny thing and we'll look at him. So there he is, stripped down. That's what he looks like before. We're gonna see what happens when we get him going. We'll see what happens. So the next time you see him, we're gonna fast forward to the final result. So on the Donatello build, just like the last one, all I did was take some milliput, put inside the shell, got it apart, and just put the dowel there so I can line it up on the back, put it in, glue it in. Now when it comes to the hands, I think we do a little different. See how I did here? I got more articulation. I think I'm going to keep it that way. Actually, it's less work, to be honest with you. It looks more natural, I would think, than pushing this all the way up to that. I don't know if that would look natural or not, but basically that's how all the figures are. So all I did was, let me see, the only thing I did was take this little, shave it down. Take this, shave it down, get that little bevel off there. Just take your time so you don't want to rip, you don't want to tear that off. I should probably use a sharper blade. Try not to cut too deep in at first. Just scrape it along there. Just get it down a little bit. You want to keep the length. So you want to keep the length, you just don't want to my camera's shaking, me hitting the table. You want to get this kind of thinned down so it just looks like a dowel rod itself. Well, not a dowel rod, but a little more like that. And just take that should be hot. That should be okay. Put this one, and all I'm doing is just jamming it in the hole. I could open up the hole a little bit more with a. I'm really pushing that in there too. I could open up the hole with, I could drill it out to make it a little bit looser, but I don't want to make it loose. I'll probably end up, I still have all the articulation, you know, I got even further back now and forwards, opposed to the Michelangelo. I cut this off completely. I mean, I probably would look a little better if I did cut the hands off. Alright, what we're going to do now is to attempt to Dremel this out enough, and I may have to, well, on the arms here, on the arms, I'm gonna have to cut the pads. There's no way I'm fitting that over top of either one, and I can't pull the arm out. I'm afraid the arm's gonna pop. I don't know if you can get these arms out or not, but it wouldn't matter. I still couldn't get over top of this gauntlet. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not tearing it too much apart. I can usually just cut this here and re-glue it after I shave it down to fit. But right now we're going to work on the legs. I'm not sure if I can get this hot enough to go over top of this. Probably not. But just like the last one I did, you have to shave this out a pretty good amount, because obviously the legs are a lot smaller than it fit on the Playmates. So here we go. Shove this down. Watch holding this, because it'll slip out of your hand. It'll grab it because it's going to heat up. So I would do this. I'm going to turn it down lower and use my hand, like I said not to do. It's kind of hard to, because it, turn this down a little bit. It's on 5, putting it on 1. And if I go too deep, I can feel it burning through the end here. So I'm getting too close to the end, stop, because you'll feel that heat and you can actually feel this Dremel going through. You can see how much I took out of one opposed to the other. I mean, it's enough. It's a little bit. I'm going to try to heat this up like I didn't do last time and try to put it over the leg. I really don't think it's going to go past this. Maybe it will. Oh wow. Okay. Okay, so this is so much easier. So much faster. The first one I did was really a challenge when it comes to when it came to the pads, but this is going really quick, and I don't have to cut the back and hold it together and super glue it, so that's good. So there we go on that one. Now I probably still will have to cut, unfortunately, the elbow pad, because there's no way I'm getting it over top of this gauntlet and even over his shoulder, and I don't know if I want to do that or not. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'll probably just cut it. I don't want to mess the figure up, but anyway, so we got the knee pads done. Let me do the other one, we'll come back. Okay, for the knee pads are going to be easy, real simple. I can stretch them over the calf. Now when it comes to the elbow pads, it's going to be a little different. So here's the difference. Here's how much I had to Dremel it out. Right there. See there? And I don't want to take this plastic apart because too many times or whatever, because this is hard plastic. It's not like the DC Multiverse stuff. I could probably pull it out there and stretch that over, but it's just easier to know that without messing up the figure. And it's, you know, I'm afraid to pull it out and having a real big gap there between his bicep and his shoulder. So in the elbow pad, all you do is put it on. I did this with the last one, but I did it to all 4. Now I only have to do it all 2, or just 2 of them. Hold it tight. Get somebody to put some glue on there for you. Hold it. Maybe even spray some of that instant spray, but be careful, that instant spray, you know, that super glue instant spray stuff is really good before you paint, but after you paint, watch it, because it leaves a white residue if you use too much. So there we go. That's the shoulder pad, the knee pads and the elbow pads. Outside of that, we're going to wait for this dry tomorrow and line that up and put that in. I'm gonna scuff all this stuff up with a Scotch pad right there. Scuff it all up, get it all ready for primer. I think I didn't drill it out enough. That's a little better. Yeah, that's better. I must not have been far enough in there. So let's see what it looks like now. Let's see. See what it looks like now if I can stop shaking the camera because my hands are hitting the table. have to... That's a lot better. It's a lot better than just what it was. There we go. There we go. That's not too bad, see? By the time I put the bow up, it's not bad. I could have came down a little bit more so this matches that, but it's not a perfect world. But I think that's doable. I'm not going to finalize it yet, but that's about it right there, and I'll blacken all that out where you can't see it anyway. So, okay. Now, the next part, we're going to start priming.